Hey, happy Friday the 13th, everybody.
Hey, what's cool, everybody?
We got Tugboat, we got Pip Pop, we got Carrie.
Keith and Emma and Alpha. And let's see, anybody else? Seth? Chris?
Emma.
Chris Anderson.
Oh my gosh, Alpha Llama Llama. It's raining here today too, and it was like definitely sucking my motivation today.
Oh my goodness, it's rained, not like hard, but pretty constant all
pretty
day.
Constant, yeah.
What's cool with everybody? I'll tell you what's cool with me, honey. I have inked like 10 pages of my webcomic, and I have colored 3.
You've had a hell of a week. Chris Anderson is here. We did a interview with Chris on his YouTube channel. I posted about it on BlueSky and on Instagram, but we talked about Nestor Redondo's run on Swamp Thing. I think it's a fun thing if you go take a look. I'll try to remember to put a link in the description thing.
Keith, I hope you have so much fun visiting family and going to a work thing. Thanks, Dylan.
Oh my gosh, it must be late in Florida.
What 3 hours. 10? They're 3 hours ahead of us, so
not
10.
too bad. Not too bad.
Thanks, Carrie.
Hey, so today I was going to actually...
Hi, Rudak. Oh, sorry.
Oh, hey, Rudak. Hey, Math Raptor. It's good to see you. Today I was going to do some fan art. I hadn't actually painted anything in weeks, so I thought that this would be a good day to do that. Way past my bedtime for reals. Like I'm like man, yeah, I've been going to bed closer to like 9:30 lately.
You've also been working on getting your studio put back together, which it is not yet.
Nope, not yet.
So we're not doing a studio tour yet. There's nothing to tour.
Yeah, I'm really
miss the tour, Rudak.
I'm really hoping we'll be able to get it next week, but we'll see. Like the guys are coming on Monday to install the heater, and then after that we will have then I can finally finish moving in all the way, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, but having a hard time talking because I have a ruler out.
Tugboat's already trying to guess the fan art. Doctor Who?
Oh, no, it's actually going to be a band fan art. A rock and roll band, not fan art that has been banned.
Oh. It will be a relief to have the studio all the way back. We're in it right now. It's just very echoey and empty and disorganized at this point.
Not everything's in here, and the rest of the house is just a wreck from having everything that used to be in here sort of spread throughout the whole house.
Yeah, still. Oh my goodness. So now more guesses on the band. Instead of Doctor Who fan art, they're wondering if it's The Who.
No, it's no mystery. I'm going to do a Amel and the Sniffers. I was going to do a picture of Amy Taylor, who's the lead singer.
What's her name again?
Amy Taylor.
Amy Taylor.
Man, I forgot. I need to order a new masking tape. One of the things that sucks when your studio floods and they have to tear the whole thing up, it kicks up so much dust that all your rolls of masking tape end up being covered in like
dust?
Different kinds of dust and lint that like
wow.
came from like stuff that was beneath the subfloor, stuff that was beneath every piece of furniture that had to get moved around.
So then it loses some of its stick.
I don't know if it loses any of its stick because the sticky part was protected, but like the edges are some of the edges are a little bit fuzzy
and dirty.
Yeah.
Hey, Pippi.
Hey, Pippi, it's good to see you. Did you ever find the episode that where we showed off the money cat?
Do you have it on you now? Oh, no, you wouldn't have it on you. Oh, wait. Because it's probably in a box.
Yeah, we got moved around with all the other stuff that was here in the studio.
We'll have to show it off during the studio tour then.
Well, Pippi was looking for it, looking for the video when I received it. But I couldn't remember which one it was. It was sometime, I think, in April this year.
Pippi's narrowed it down.
Nice. I forgot, Alpha Llama Llama. Are you in Australia too?
Yes.
Nice. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Is Amel Amy's nickname? Like, does Amy have a little middle initial L or something? Because I just realized it's Amy L. Amel.
Yeah. Amel is a kind of drug, I guess? I don't actually know. It's some sort of a drug reference. But yeah, her name is Amy.
Amyl nitrate.
So I think they, yeah, I think she's supposed to be the Amel in Amel and the Sniffers, but I don't know.
It's dirty, Tugboat says.
So I got a couple pictures. Whoa.
What?
That are pretty great. Like, that's a pretty good one to work from. But, God, why do you keep doing that? This one's also very good. Like Tubgo was saying, it's like, it's got the hair. It's got that hedgewig and the angry
60s
itch.
hair. The wings.
But this one was great. I really love her expression on this one. It's very good. So I think I'm going to go with this one, actually. Also, being black and white kind of makes it a little bit more easy, I think, to draw.
Plus the flex.
I don't know let's see how much of that I work in. So I'm thinking like a lot of her arms are going to get cut off, get cropped out.
Which song have you heard of theirs, Alpha? I happen to be sitting next to the records, so I'm pulling out one of the records. But none of the names are meaning anything to me. They're not sparking any memory of the songs that we've heard. Starfire 500, Gacked on Anger, Cup of Destiny, GFY, Angel Monsoon Rock, Control, Got You, Punisher, Shake Ya, some Mutts.
Trying to think if I have a favorite song by them. I don't know. I like the Balaclava. I think it's.
Yeah.
I think the name is. I think it's just called Balaclava.
How many of their records do you have, honey?
I think I have 2 or 3. At least one of them's up next to the record player.
Oh, okay. Is Don't Fence Me In a cover of the Don't Fence Me In song?
No.
Okay. I'm not looking for trouble, I'm looking for love. Let me in the club. Yeah, that's right, Tugboat. Keith, it doesn't look like he's drawing small enough to get the flex all the way in there. Maybe we'll just get a peek of bicep.
Yeah, I don't think her arm's gonna make it. It's
Oh,
gonna be all torso.
Dylan, I will definitely type a name in the chat and their name in the chat. Amel and the Sniffers. And her name is Amy Taylor.
I think the first song I heard from them that I was like, I like this band was Hurts? Hurtz, I think.
I have no idea. What's Hurts? What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Talking about the first song I heard from them where I decided I liked them.
Oh, okay. Let me see. I'll look on the back of this. So far I've found 2. Oh, yeah. I found 2 record albums. I said that funny. So yeah, Hertz. Hertz. And then you said there's one more. So I think you got 3 albums of theirs.
Yeah, I think that's right.
I'll bring them over so you could show them off if you want. Keith, yep, you spelled it right. Hertz like the car rental place.
Oh, I wonder if that's actually what it's about. It's about getting out of the city and going out to the country.
She absolutely has blonde ABBA hair, Dylan. I think you have found them.
She has like very manic energy.
Yeah, and she seems like a toughie.
I don't know if she feels like a toughie.
What are you talking about? She could kick some serious butt. She's got assertiveness and sass.
She does sing about not being a toughie, though. But she does have sass.
Too. She's a softie at heart too.
No, she actually has a song called Knifey that is about wanting to go for walks in the park at night and not having to worry about being attacked as a woman alone.
Yep. Well, you can still feel that way and still be a badass.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, Rudak is asking, how many illustrations have you done on the stream so far over the years? Enough for a cooldown book? Maybe.
Oh. Maybe. I mean, one of the things that I was thinking about when I was trying to decide what to do today was I was like, I haven't done like a commission piece. Like I did a lot of commissions.
Yeah.
On here. But not like maybe a dozen.
But you have done stuff like you're doing now. Just cooldown sketches, which could be included. I don't know that you would want to include commissions in a book.
Say what?
He asked how many.
No, I mean, what did you just say about commissions in a book?
I don't think you'd want to put the commissions in the book, would you?
I've been actually thinking about doing a book of commissions. But it really only makes sense to do that if I were to start doing shows regularly.
Oh, so you could sell it. You could sell it on the webpage, in your store. Cool down collection. That sounds great, Rudak. Oh, and Mark. Okay, Pippi is asking, if you're painting a blue watercolor piece, what color do you use for underpainting?
You're asking like what pigment of blue I would use?
For if you're painting a blue watercolor piece, what color do you use for your underpainting?
It depends. Like I have a turquoise color that I like a lot. That I have used for some like underpainting of night scenes. And I think probably the two colors I use the most for my when I do a wash underneath my painting, I think I use turquoise and Prussian blue. The turquoise is actually, I think this color right here is mostly turquoise. I think actually, if I remember the last time I painted, I think this was turquoise with some Prussian blue mixed in to darken it up a little bit. Because the Prussian blue is a little bit more gray, and the turquoise is a very, very rich blue.
Harry is saying that's a really hard expression to get on her face.
It is. It's like she's doing it's like she has her tongue in her lower lip, kind of, it looks like.
Oh. Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's really fighting me, trying to get that. get that to work. I mean, but that's what attracted me to this picture.
Is the challenge?
Not necessarily challenge, just like I thought her expression was cool.
Yeah, it is.
But it turns out it is very challenging.
Pippi says thank you.
You're welcome.
He was using yellow for most of his work, but you can't use it with blue or you get green.
Oh, yep. You can use browns.
And still get a good blue?
Well, what the way it works is like brown is basically orange and black mixed together, and orange is the opposite, or the brain party, the complementary color. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So orange is the complementary of blue, so you get you can make those work together pretty well.
People are saying that this picture makes her look like a wrestler.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming in, Keith, and saying hi. I hope you get some good rest.
Yeah, have a good night, man.
It sounded like you said Maine.
Mang.
Have a good night, Maine. See you next week. Oh yeah, if you're liking the stream, go ahead and give it a little thumbs up. If you plan to like the stream later on, maybe give it a thumbs up now in case you forget later.
My microphone feels like it's rubbing on my neck.
Are y'all hearing little scratchy sounds from the mics? From his mic? Awesome. They didn't hear any scratchy sounds.
Okay, good.
Just the scratchy of your pencil. They didn't hear any scratches until you started scratching at it. Trying to go back and count all the number of sketches that you did, and it's not loading all your past cooldowns for me.
Did you go to the live tab?
I sure did. And it's just a spinny.
Oh.
The witch in the basement is making a lot of scritchy noises though, says Alpha. Hi, Michael.
Hey, Michael, it's good to see you. How long does it take you to decide on what the very first panel image of a comic will be? Man, I don't know. That's an interesting question.
That's usually like the introduction, right? To like.
Yeah, like lots of times I know what the first image is going to be like long before I start drawing it. If I have a script, it's easy, obviously, because the writer proposes what it's going to be. But like, yeah, like I thought for like Lonesome Hunters, the first panel was going to be Howard in that double page spread walking down the street, but then Daniel, my editor, was like, we could use a little bit of an intro to what this world is before we just drop it in drop people in like that.
Mm-hmm. So then you had to do the flashback of his childhood.
Yeah, which is kind of the same thing we did with Harrow County. And actually, it was the same thing where, like, the Harrow County plan was that the tree double page spread would be the first image in Harrow County, but then we did the sort of intro, a little 4-page intro thing as a promo
of what happened to Hester.
Yeah, and then we ended up thinking that worked really well for starting the book.
And then every time you started a new chapter or floppy, you would start with the double page spread, and it was like introducing the setting.
Yeah.
For the first like page, like for the following page. And establishing like the haints or the
the double page spreads in Harrow County were like almost always establishing shots, which is always a safe way to start off a story. And not only safe, I think it's can be a really good way to do it. But I also liked those because it sort of served to sort of ask the reader to slow down a little bit before they dug into the book, to give them something really lush and interesting to look at before they started reading, so that they could go from their day before they were reading comics to transition to the world of Harrow County. And that's sort of why I kept it going with Lonesome Hunters, was because I liked that idea of getting the readers slow down as their very first thing they do.
Lonesome Hunters had the first, it had a page 0 and page 1 for double page spreads, like Harrow County?
Yes.
I forgot.
I didn't do the thing where I hid
Lonesome Hunters in the...
Yeah, I didn't hide the title in there.
I'm remembering that the covers were double page.
Yeah, wraparounds.
Wraparound covers. Thank you. Couldn't remember the word.
Yeah, Mark, I kind of like that too. I like it, that little bit of extra story before you get into the double page spread makes it feel like kind of special compared to the rest of the series. I don't know where my hairdryer is.
I haven't seen it. Do you think it's upstairs?
Probably upstairs, yeah.
Do you want me to go look for it?
Would you mind?
I don't mind. That's why I'm here. Dude. I will remember to leave my mic.
Under the floorboards. Yeah, likely. Yeah, I mentioned at the beginning that I was on, did an interview on that YouTube channel that Chris put together, and we talked about how I stole that from Nestor Redondo's run on Swamp Thing. Did you find it?
Yes, I did, and I found Tibbs and remembered that someone asked about her, and I forgot to answer. So then I thought I would pick her up and bring her.
There she is.
Oh. She likes being picked up like this.
Oh, thanks, Mark. I could talk about Nestor Redondo all day long, even though I don't actually know a ton about him.
Right.
Alpha Llama Llama's got a pss, pss, pss.
Look right here. Look right there. Oh, there's a moth. That's what she's looking at. I'll let her go.
Gotta mute this so I can airbrush. Unmuted. What is that watercolor palette name? That is a good question. I have 2 of them. Let me see if I have a name on it. Oh, it's an Alvin. These guys. Alvin Co., made in Korea. Probably my favorite palette that I've used. I've tried a couple different ones. This one isn't quite perfect, but it's good. But it's also, I don't know what I would do to make it perfect. Like maybe if this tray were divided into 2 large trays, that could be helpful.
I'm not sure Tibbs's name comes from anything in particular. It's short for initially it was short for Tiberius, and then we adopted her and kept her name just as Tibbs. Oh, it was first it was Tiberius, then it was Tibbers, and then when we got her, we just kept it Tibbs, just shortened it even more. Yeah, James Tibbs Kirk.
Somehow Tibbs just really seemed to fit her.
Yeah. She's still staring at the moth. The moth is resting on the ceiling and she's just watching it. Carrie says, get the palette company to sponsor you and have a specially one.
Oh my gosh, I would love
the Mr. Tyler Crook edition.
I would love, like, I need to get M. Graham and Company to sponsor me, because they're like they make the watercolor that I use the most of.
I haven't seen the Sidney Poitier movie, They Call Me Mr. Tibbs, but now I want to.
Maybe yeah, we've talked about it in the past.
Maybe I have seen it. Some of these clips are looking familiar. But it would have been probably since the 70s since I've seen it.
I'm pretty sure we looked it up when we found out that they named a movie after our cat.
Michael would buy a Mr. Tyler Crook edition palette. Maybe Rosemary and Company can sponsor you too.
That would be great. I did just do a big Rosemary and Company shopping.
You're going really red with the line.
Yeah. I wonder if the tariffs next year are going to affect my brush consumption.
Yeah. Michael is asking, do you wait for holiday sales so you for when you buy studio supplies?
Sometimes. There's definitely stuff that like there's not enough stuff. Like the stuff that I use, I need. So like there's a lot of things that I can't wait for. But the stuff that I can wait for, sometimes I will. In fact, I should have bought like a bunch of masking tape on Black Friday, because I need like a bunch. And I should have ordered it then. But we were
during
also
Black Friday, there was still like construction going on.
Yeah, we were still in the middle of that stuff, so it's hard to stay on top of everything.
Michael finally bought a Huion 21-inch tablet during Black Friday.
That's cool. How do you like it? I have been pretty tempted by XP pens. I think that's what we got for the library a couple years ago, and I was really impressed with how nice it was. I was just realizing the other day that my Wacom has not bricked my computer yet. Knock on wood.
Is that a thing that it's done?
Well,
they've done?
They don't typically brick a computer, but the drivers historically were so bad that it would be like you would upgrade your drivers and then have to like reinstall your entire OS to like be able to work again.
Michael was looking at XP-Pen, and Huion that haven't used a Cintiq to compare. I haven't had too much time to use it, but like it so far.
Well, good luck with it. I hope it serves you well. 21 inches is like a great size too.
Yeah, that sounds great. And I'm Michael, I was thinking about how I work on an iPad, and 21 inches is a huge difference.
I can't tell you how much I want a 21-inch iPad.
Oh yeah. I do want a bigger screen.
Yeah, and why don't they have Procreate for iOS, man? You can run tons of other iOS apps on the M1 chips, but there's like a lot of the really cool stuff like Procreate or Nomad Sculpt you cannot.
It is annoying, Emma. Give me Nomad, she says.
Yeah, we were talking about that on BlueSky. Nomad, Sculpt, and Procreate would be like huge for desktop.
Michael wonders if it's the screen touch interactivity.
Oh, yeah, that's likely it. But like, my Cintiq has touch on it, you know? There's weird stuff like you can use your iPad as a second monitor and even use the Apple Pencil on it, but you can't, and it even does pressure sensitivity, but you can't do the tilt control on it, which is actually a deal breaker for me. Like I can do that on my Cintiq. I have tilt control. But for some reason, the Apple Pencil, which does have tilt control, but it just doesn't have it when you do it as a second monitor, or I guess it's called Sidecar.
Talk about asks, what program did you use for the Swamp Thing?
Nomad Sculpt or Nomad 3D on my iPad.
Dylan's getting a monitor, keyboard, and mouse for the holidays for Christmas.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah. Found the monitor on sale for a really good price.
I started using these vertical mice, and I friggin' love them. These have been like real wrist savers for me. I don't know if everyone will have that experience, but
yeah, everybody's wrist is different, but it's been comfortable for me too. It takes my
little
brain
getting used to it too.
It takes my brain a little bit to get used to, yeah, but it is more comfortable for my hand. And Pippi is reminding us that that Wind River Arts is the U.S. dealer for Rosemary and Company. They supply the colleges and schools. Maybe we could avoid the tariffs, possibly. I'm sure they if there is a tariff on them, they have to be imported.
Yeah, they would still have to be. They still make them in England, so.
Yeah, and then Wind River would have to pass on those tariff price hikes to us. But it still would be good to give them business. Wind River Arts.
I suspect, though, that when I order I don't know, maybe I shouldn't even say this because I don't know if it's true at all. But when I order from Rosemary and Company from their website, things ship so fast nowadays. Like it used to take like 2 weeks probably to get an order of brushes. And nowadays they'll come like in less than a week. So it makes me think that they have, even when you order through Rosemary, that it still goes through their North American distributor.
I am not used to you using red. It's usually brown that you use. So it's shocking to me. Oh, Pippi's saying maybe they already have a big stock. So it'll be a little while before they're affected by tariffs.
Oh, yeah.
She does almost look like Wonder Woman, Dylan. She would make a great Wonder Woman.
I feel like she's too scrawny. I mean, she's not scrawny. She's like actually super buff, but like she's not big.
Mm-hmm.
I like my Wonder Woman to be like 6.5, 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
And like thick, muscly.
That's not always how she's portrayed, so I get seeing Amy Taylor as that. Like, it wouldn't be too shocking, but I agree with you, honey. I would prefer a very tall, stocky, buff Wonder Woman, which we don't see enough in flats. Her in flat boots. Tugboat, she does look like she does have a bit of a Debbie Harry to her. Oh, and I get Blade Runner vibes.
Oh, yeah.
The red line work does look very rock and roll and does pop against the teal.
Yeah, this reminded me a little bit of years and years ago. I spent a lot of time drawing Iggy Pop.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't quite have the contortionist vibe that Iggy does.
Yeah. She's got her own vibe.
Yep.
Michael, that is cool that Cook drew Wonder Woman taller than Superman.
Yeah. Yeah, he did a good job with her, I think.
Carrie says, Carrie laughs and says, "Is it okay that I'm somewhat scared of Iggy Pop?"
Yes.
He has so many movie roles where he just plays a big creepo, like in Tank Girl, when he plays the pedophile.
Oh, yeah. Love it when he shows up in DS9, though.
Yes. Carrie saw him in a documentary recently and says it was just wow.
Like, wow. He has I don't know if he's posted in a long time. I don't remember seeing it, but his Instagram with him and his parrot are pretty great. He's got like or is it a cockatiel? I think it's one of those white birds with like the big plumage thing. A cockatoo? But they like, the cockatoo likes to dance.
Yeah, that's a cockatoo. There's two of them.
What's his name? That bird's name?
I don't know. I don't.
It's called like Biggie or something like that. So I don't know if I went into it with this plan, but it's turning out to be primary colors, which is kind of interesting.
Is that red kind of a reddy orange, like it looks on the screen?
Yeah.
Good.
It's a little bit darker than what's on the screen, but yeah.
Yeah, so it's also complementary colors. What's that thing? I can't remember when there's a complementary color and then there's like you used yellow, which is close to the orange.
I don't think these are these are primaries, so they're like equally spaced.
But you said the red is reddy orange.
Oh yeah.
And your blue is bluey green.
Yes.
So the green part would be complementary to the red, and the blue part would be complementary to the orange. Orangey part. Triadic? Tertiary? Y'all don't know what I'm talking about. Triadic. Alpha says, I don't know. I just think it needs more guns. Did you know that Iggy Pop was in Persepolis?
No, I didn't. The cartoon?
Yeah.
That's really interesting. No, I did not know that.
I don't remember if I knew that at the time, if I recognized it.
I presume as a voice actor he was in there.
Yeah. He was Anoush. Oh, he was uncredited.
Gonna hit the hairdryer again.
Okay. Pop I said Iggy Pop. Guess who Iggy Pop played in Tales from the Crypt?
I don't know who.
He played himself.
Good for him.
And his creepy character in Tank Girl was called Ratface.
That fits. It tracks.
Thanks for joining us, Pippi. I hope you have a great weekend.
Yeah, it was nice seeing you. I hope you have a good one. I haven't watched Tank Girl in forever. It would be interesting to see if it holds up.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I could be.
You loved that movie.
I loved it. So I think that it has a level of nostalgia for me. And I liked the Tank Girl comics at the time. And even though they weren't true to the comics, I still loved the movie. I was having a time back then, and I liked watching Laura Petty beat people up and be weird.
And we still quote, "I win."
Yeah. Yep. My favorite line is, "I win." And I at the time was trying to figure out who I was in an aesthetic. So I borrowed Tank Girl's hairdo and clothing for quite some time. I think it still was informative for how I dress now. I still have Tank Girl boots. All right, at the time I worked at Buffalo Exchange, used clothing buy sell trade store, and someone at some point had brought in some Tank Girl boots, but I was working upstairs and I didn't know that they were there in the store until they ended up on the dollar rack. So I bought Tank Girl boots that were there in the store shortly after the Tank Girl movie had come out, and I still have them to this day.
They're really good. You've had to resole them a couple times, but
yep. I need to resole them now. I've only resold them once before, but I still have my boots. I still get compliments. I got a compliment on them just the last time I went to Lowe's. And I bragged about how they were $1 and that they were Tank Girl boots. And the woman was gobsmacked. What are your shows that you like, that if you were to watch them now for the first time, you maybe wouldn't have liked them. Do you have anything like that?
That I probably wouldn't like now? But
if you had watched them for the very first time, like today, you would have thought it was a terrible movie, or read a terrible book, but because it came across your life at just the right time, it's something that you still enjoy.
I don't know. I did just read. I just had the opposite thing when I read The Stand recently, which I really enjoyed as a young man, and then as an older man who has lived through one pandemic, I did not care for it very much at all.
It didn't hold up.
I don't feel like it held up. No.
I have a lot like that.
And it's not just and it wasn't just the pandemic stuff. It was just like there was a lot of Stephen King stuff that I didn't jive with anymore.
I think that's true for most Stephen King for me too. There was a time when I was 20 where I just ate them up, and now I choose them when I choose like one of his movies to put on the background as something I don't have to pay attention to, but just want to fill the room up with noise. Dylan's over here quoting Nancy Sinatra. These boots are made for walking.
Minor Threat does a fun little cover of that song.
And Mrs. Miller. So Dylan could be referring to any of those.
Oh, Mrs. Miller. I forgot about her.
Chris Anderson. Wow. I've had to pop in and out, and Chris is blown away every time.
Thanks, man. I feel like it is like maintaining some sense of energy.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting there, Tugboat. Hold on.
Splatter coming up soon.
You joke, but that actually does add a lot of energy.
Oh my goodness. Michael says that that their son is experiencing Dune for the first time for his birthday tonight.
Ooh.
And it's blaring from the other room.
How old's your son?
Yeah, which Dune too, Michael?
I don't think I read Dune until I was in my 20s. The original Dune? 14. Oh, that's a perfect age for it, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean, maybe it's like the perfect age for it to fuck you up and turn you into a total weirdo.
And turn you into David Lynch. Oh, he's watching the new one. Okay. So won't be turning into David Lynch. Oh, he's read it twice. The 14-year-old has read Dune twice. Like just the first Dune book or all the Dune books?
If he's only 14, I don't think he's had enough time to read all Dune books. Especially the ones that like Frank Herbert's son wrote.
If it was your sister at 14, she would have read them all.
Oh, maybe.
Just the first one. Still managing to get your head in the in front of the camera.
Thank you.
Don't even have a bill on your hat. Carrie says it's hard to keep up mentally with the politics at times. I think Asimov's Foundation series is comparable there.
I don't know if I had to have read some Asimov, but maybe I haven't.
Michael says Michael's son is a machine when it comes to reading, but he's heard Michael's opinion on the sequels and has skipped them for now.
Oh, the book sequels?
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried. I think I read the first one that Frank Herbert's son wrote, and it just did not vibe. Like, I think he co-wrote it with somebody. I don't remember.
You read the Worm one though, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like
so
I read
how many
until.
In is that?
I don't know, 3 or 4. It's like Dune, Children of Dune, Dune Messiah. Sanderson, man, I really got into those. I forget the name of those books. The Arclight or something like that. You read them too, sweetie.
Yep.
Really got into those for a little while.
I haven't read as many of them as you.
I kind of stopped. They started feeling like they weren't gonna ever go anywhere.
The Stormlight Archives.
Stormlight, that's the one. Carrie, I actually started to watch that one. Nerd Forge is, I think, the name of that channel. What now? What do I do now?
Well, some people would say splatter, maybe.
I don't think it's splatter time just yet.
Dylan is asking, what book is better than the movie, and what movie is better than the book?
The History of Violence is the movie for that is better than the comic.
Oh.
Which is a rare one.
Really rare thing. The English patient, Rudak says, is better. The book is better than the movie. Jaws and Jurassic Park, both leaps and bounds over their sources, so the movies are better than the books.
I think Lord of the Rings books are way better than the movies.
Yeah.
Especially because the movies were so cowardly and got rid of Tom Bombadil. Just so everyone knows, this is a Tom Bombadil apologist channel. Hey, Super Lady, thanks for joining us.
Yeah. And thank you for reminding people to click like if they like.
Oh, Blade Runner. Yeah, that's a... I don't know. I read Blade Runner after watching the movie, and I didn't find it to be wildly different. But there are clearly differences. And I thought they were both good. Oh, you know what's way better than the movie?
What?
Running Man.
Oh, yes.
Even though we were just criticizing Stephen King, like the Running Man short story was actually pretty incredible.
And
had nothing to do with the movie, other than it was somebody running.
I Am Legend, the book, is better than any of the adaptations. Logan's Run, the movie, is better than the books.
I liked the new Blade Runner too.
Yeah. Oh, I Am Not a Gun.
The Iron Giant.
Iron Giant, yeah. I didn't realize that was a book before it was a cartoon, a movie.
Yeah, I've never read the book.
I haven't either.
I think it was a kid's book. Like not a, I don't think it was a picture book, but I think it was like intended for early readers kind of a book.
Oh, hi Eddie.
Hey. Is it Eddie or Edie? Edie Sedgwick.
Oh, could be. Oh, sorry, Edie.
Oh, hey, Super Lady. No, this is a musician that I like named Amy Taylor. She's the lead singer in the band Amyl and the Sniffers.
Yeah, you can follow Tyler on Instagram. He is mostly on BlueSky lately, and YouTube. Oh, and also you can go to his website, mrcrook.com, for his blog that we will start doing more of in the coming year.
Knock on wood.
I am knocking on wood.
All right, I got to mute for the hairdryer again. Oh, she does have a little bit of a Courtney Love thing.
Super Lady's asking if you created the DC horror cover for.
Say what?
Super Lady's asking about the DC horror cover that you did.
Yes, I did. I did do those. Did you create the DC comic for DC Horror Presents on your Instagram? I did not do the interior art for that. I only did the cover art. I did the cover art for the first 4 issues of that. So this is feeling a little bit soft to me. So I'm hoping if I go in with the colored pencil, I can sort of sharpen up some of the hair stuff.
Everyone in here is a cool kid. Totally a cool kid, Mark. Carrie says, I know you outline in pencils, but you also ink and color. Do brushes feel more natural for you to use than pencils?
I don't know if they feel more natural. It depends on the kinds of marks I'm going for, I guess. Like, pencils definitely feel... Like, pencils are the tool that I've used the most in my life, because, you know, I was started with pencils when I was probably, you know, 3 or 4 years old. And inking with a brush was not something I felt very good at until I was in my 30s. But there's just some sorts of lines that you can't make with a pencil, obviously. And those lines tend to feel a lot better with a brush. Like the lines that brushes make well feel like good. Mm-hmm. I did make her neck a little too long here compared to the reference. So I can't get her head in there good enough. But it's okay.
Edie's asking if you have any formal art training. Or are you mostly self-taught?
I think I'm a combination of self-taught and learned on the job. So I learned from working with a lot of people over the years. I went to college for 1 semester and then dropped out because I couldn't afford it. And I learned a lot from that 1 semester, actually. It's a lot of the stuff that I learned has really stuck with me. But yeah, I don't know. It's a trip because like most of my work experience was doing video games, and not like some of those skills transferred over to doing comics, but not everything, obviously. So much of the video game experience I had was about learning ways of thinking about problems, and sometimes sometimes that applies to comics, but lots of times it doesn't, because the problems are totally different. Like the problems I have to solve in comics are usually like story related problems, and the problems I had in video games were usually like technology types of problems. trying to get a certain piece of data into the file so that the game could read it correctly, sorts of things.
You did do design work, character design work. I remember seeing you do drawings of some characters throughout your time in comics.
I did a little bit of that
in video games.
Did a little bit, but I did so much sports games that that really dominated my video game.
It's true, which is part of why you wanted to get more satisfaction out of comics. I haven't heard of Thank Goodness You're Here.
Yeah, me either.
I wonder what system that's on. It's for the Switch. Oh, we have a Switch. Oh, Tugboat. You have sparked my interest. Edie's asking, is there a general rule regarding panel size, shape, and especially placement, please?
Is there a general rule regarding panel size, shape, and placement? I think the rule that I tend to follow consistently is just that the most important panel on a page is almost always the biggest. So lots of times I will start laying out a page with that information. So I'll look at the script and decide which panel I think is the most important panel on the page, and I'll just put a big rectangle where that one's going to go, and then I build around that. I'm one of those people, like, I like to design my pages kind of boring. Like, I don't do a lot of unusual panel shapes. I keep everything a rectangle, and I try not to overlap my panels, which like one of the goals I have with my comics usually is that like I want someone's I don't know why I think of it this way in these specific terms, but I want somebody's aunt to be able to read my comics. Like, I want somebody who doesn't read comics to be able to sit down with them and like pick them up and make sense of them. So I follow a lot of the same rules that you would with like a Sunday strip, like a Sunday comic strip, where I try to keep things as clear and simple as possible. I don't know, does that help at all?
Edie says thanks.
Nice.
And Carrie says, I like that you teach us things, and I don't feel dumb asking questions here.
Oh, that's awesome. I am not a teacher, so I don't. Lots of times when people ask questions, I find it really fun because I mean, half the time it's stuff I've never thought of, or at least I've never thought of like how to say it.
Say it out loud.
And so like being asked to do that is always very challenging and kind of fun. Carrie, and the crew that hangs out here is just always so nice. Like, I hope everyone does feel like they can just ask questions and talk about shit.
Yep. By crew, he means y'all in the chat. If you didn't catch that.
I've always liked how Mignola keeps everything contained in panels. I think he is. I think he's the one who sort of taught me that. I don't know. He didn't really explain to me why that was, but a lot of my early layouts on B.P.R.D were a lot more wild and creative, and I got notes right away that were like, "Slow down, Tyler." When you mute, we go nuts, like when the teacher leaves the room. You kind of do. Whenever I look up at the chat, everyone's going bonkers.
Carrie was also asking, she was reading something where the panels were outlined in frames. Are those still considered gutters?
Were outlined in frames. I would. So the anatomy of a panel is that you have the panel, which is everything inside this rectangle. And then you have the panel border, which is whatever you use to outline the border. So typically that's just a black line. And then the gutter is the gap in between the panels, in between the panel borders, that is not, does not have like narrative content in it. So if like if you took a normal gutter and you put a bunch of stuff in there, I probably wouldn't consider that a gutter anymore, but I don't know what I would call it. Like, to me, a gutter is paper. That's like where that's all you can see is paper.
And Carrie says, okay, so that's border.
Yeah, I think if you had a panel that was framed by graphics that looked like a picture frame, I think I would consider the picture frame either a part of the panel or a part of the panel border. But one of the things about comics is that there's no laws about it. You can call it whatever you want. What do you think of letterers using their own handwriting instead of classic comic letterer font? I think it's great. I would love to have like a custom font made one of these days. It's just such a huge undertaking. And I don't have enough like hand lettering of my own stuff to have something to know what I would want my own personal hand lettering to look like. But yeah, no, I think that's great. I think there's a lot of letterers who have their own custom fonts, and that's a real boon for them because they have something that no one else can use, you know? It's like their own personal style. I'm a big fan of lettering actually being visible. Like, I don't know, there's a lot of people who used to say kind of consistently that lettering should be invisible, and I'm a strong believer that lettering is such an integral part of the comics telling process that if you make it invisible, it usually just means that you're making it
unreadable.
No, you're just making it boring, and you're not using it to the fullest extent that you could.
Oh, as part of the mood.
Yeah, you're not expressing enough of the storytelling or emotional content if you're keeping your lettering boring. Muting for All right, we're unmuted. Wait a second. Are you guys chewing gum in here? Spit it out. Spit it out. Yeah, Michael, the Essential Guide to Comic Book Lettering by Nate Picos is great.
And
probably the best book on lettering that's ever been made, I think.
While Tyler was away on mute, I also got onto BlueSky and followed some people. And Emma, I agree, those queer dinosaurs are amazing.
Oh, here's our splatter.
I almost missed it.
Gonna keep it a little bit subtle.
Hey, Bovie. You did make it.
What's up, Bovie?
you wiped off her face.
I did. She got a little bit of something on her face.
Splatter Power is our next band name. Splatter Power and the Cool Kids. The Cool Downers. Carrie keeps trying to mouse down to get a full picture of everything
the whole
you did.
Thing.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I think I'm just going to hit it with a hairdryer one more time and then
we'll peel
some tape. Okay, slight change of plan. I am going to actually hit a few highlights.
Is it still on mute?
No.
Okay. The stream has gone on so long that Emma's birds are demanding to do tricks. What kind of tricks, Emma? Well, you're probably busy doing tricks now. Tugboat said, did you see that Tugboat said this would make a great tour poster? Just put the info across your belly. Amel and the tape peelers.
I'm using some acrylic wash.
Emma's birds spin and hop and roll over and fly to her hand and play fetch. They play fetch.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Tibbs used to play fetch.
Tibbs did.
We haven't played that in a long time.
We didn't have enough space recently for her to run and play fetch. I tried to get her to bring... I tried to reward her when she brought it to me, but she lost her consistency and doesn't bring things to me anymore as often. Tibbs, fetch the moth. Yeah, birds are super smart.
Yeah. I listened to a thing a while ago about the guy who called a... there was some meeting of like bird scientists, and he called a special meeting so that they could rename the parts of a bird's brain, because somehow whatever, decades and decades ago, they went through and decided what all the parts of a bird's brain were going to be called, and they named them all like the most insulting things ever.
That went in line with the bird brain idiom.
Yeah, the idea that the birds were really dumb. And so he made all these scientists sit down and give them names that were normal.
Nice.
Man, an aviary living room sounds kind of fun, but the only birds I've spent any time with are chickens, and
we have had them living in our living room before. They when we get baby ones, they live in in the bathroom off of our living room.
Yeah, we've always gotten babies in early spring when it's a little too cold for them to be out.
Yeah. Oh, except I totally forgot. The most recent ones stayed in my office in a tent. We have transitioned to raising the baby chickens in a tent, which is way better than in a small bathroom.
Budgies. I don't know what a budgie is.
I bet they're cute.
They sound cute.
Oh, I've seen lots of budgies in pet stores. They're adorable and very loud. They have very round heads. Which I guess is true for a lot of birds. Oh, budgie is an Australian name for a parakeet.
Oh, okay.
Carrie's mom had a talking crow when she was young.
Oh, that's the dream right there, man. Being able to talk to a crow. Whew. I think that did help her hair a lot. Have a little more definition.
Yeah, now it looks more like she's at a show, and there's light coming up from the stage. Yeah. Budgeringar. I kind of like that. And like Budgeringar sounds like they brandish swords. And then Budgie is a cutesy name to make them not sound so gnarly. Dylan's dad had a pet store before he was born. And correct me, Dylan, if I just got your pronoun wrong. And then one day someone dropped off a bird that cussed all the time.
That's funny.
Budger Rigger. Awesome, Dylan. Thank you. Emma's glad none of her birds talk because they would cuss like sailors.
It seems like one of those things that would be very funny until like you're into the 40th year of life with that bird and all they do is cuss at you. My parents used to have a neighbor with a parrot, and when they left the parrot alone, it would talk to itself, and it would like it would sort of bite on its cage. It would take a moment and bite on the cage, and then it would go, "Oh, no biting," and then it would chew on the cage some more, and be like, "Oh, don't do that," and then it would do it some more.
Emma's birds just mimic her laughter and the sound of everybody plugging in their car.
I was helping somebody move one time, and there was a bird in the apartment complex that did a telephone ring like for 4 hours straight, like never ending.
4 hours straight. Oh no.
And the person I was helping move out was like, yeah, they do that all day long. Probably why they were moving out.
Mark's grandma had a bird, and he would go over to watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the cartoon, and the bird picked up cowabunga.
That's fantastic. Okay, now I think one last hairdryer, and then for reals this time.
Hi, Edie. Thanks for popping in.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out. That was fun. All right. Oh, one last thing. A little John Hancock.
Who did we know that had a bird? It was like Mom and Dad's neighbor or something that had a bird, and something happened, and the bird was saying, "Oh no, please come back. I love you. I'm sorry." Oh, they got dropped off at the vet.
That wasn't. I don't think that was a story. I don't think Mom and Dad knew that bird.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was some story about a bird that when they took him to the vet and had to leave him there, the bird was like, "No, please don't leave me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry."
Yeah. I thought they were being punished. Oh. I'm sorry, I was talking during the peeling.
I was too. Yeah, we screwed up Evan's ASMR with this peel.
I'm so sorry, y'all. I will do better next time.
I think it's fine.
No, I want people to have the silence. Good night, Carrie. Thanks for coming in and hanging out with us, Carrie, and being cool as always.
Boom, there we go. Well, that was good, man. I have not painted in, I think I said at the beginning, I haven't painted in weeks.
Yeah,
I've just been a long time. Penciling and inking stuff like a madman, so this felt really nice. And I think it turned out good. Thanks, everybody.
Seth is asking if it's okay in their comic to use the double page spread title card. I don't think you own that.
I do not own that. And in fact, I stole that from Swamp Thing.
From Swamp Thing, yeah. Go for it. Make it your own, Seth.
Yeah, for sure. All right, everybody. Well, thanks again for hanging out with me. That was really nice.
This has been
we haven't done one this long in a while either, which has been...
Yeah, this is the longest you've gone for a long time.
Yeah. I hope everybody has a great weekend and a great week. Don't forget to like the stream if you enjoyed it, and
tell the people you love
exactly how much you love them. And I love all you guys.
And as Mark says, every time we log off, and tell the people you love that you love Lonesome Hunters.
And get it for them for Christmas.
Oh my goodness, that would be a good gift.
All right, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.